people are investing in us, and there's consequences, and those consequences have a cost, and it costs reputation, it costs money,
Mhm.
and the whole point is to like grow something that's ours.
Welcome to the Captains and Coaches podcast. We explore the art and the science of leadership through the lens of athletics and beyond. I'm your host, Tex McQuilkin, and today I traveled to Indiana for a conversation about navigating pivotal transitions and making strategic moves when stakes are the highest. Welcoming back to the show Luke Summers, longtime pal, former colleague, and partner through some of the most transformative chapters of my life. From building training systems and methodologies at Power Athlete to developing coaching experiences at KidStrong, we've learned what it really means to lead through seasons of change. In part one of this interview, we're reflecting on breakthroughs, burnouts, and the beauty of discovering purpose in different seasons. We share what it takes to truly connect before you coach, why self-awareness is the foundation of great leadership, and how the battles we fought together have prepared us for what's next. This one's for anyone navigating their own transition, wondering how your past and your pals prepare you to lead with purpose. Now, let's hand it off to Luke to help us raise the game. Ready, and great.
Action. We're in. Welcome to the Captains and Coaches podcast, Indiana,
The Paris of the Midwest.
the Paris of the Midwest. I'm sitting here with longtime pal Luke Summers. I don't know the volume of my voice because we got some family members sleeping.
Sleeping Children. It was
late
way
night
past that
episode.
time. Yeah.
But check out episode 16. So we go way back,
Mhm.
15 years, more or less.
I think so.
Yeah.
Feels a lot longer. Feels a lot longer.
I mean, multiple continents.
Mhm.
Shark cage
Mhm.
diving.
Yep.
A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah. Great white shark diving. Yeah. Almost fell
Yeah.
off that boat. We'd be in the Sea of Cortez. What sea is that? I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, I have the GoPro footage because, of course, I'm trying to get us a selfie and we're going up in the boat.
Yeah.
So that's I'll
Yeah.
try to B-roll that in there.
Yeah.
That's my goal, is to uncover that.
Yeah.
It's out there. Needless to say, well, we had a great day today, just kicking it in the car on your current venture.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, we were right back to where we started, just talking shop, talking about the, I guess, combination of coach's responsibility and life. Now you find yourself responsible for two little ones
Mhm.
and a well-versed strength and conditioning professional into child development professional. And now you got a couple guinea pigs.
Yes. It's the art. It's the magnum opus, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
is raising the little ones. Tough girls.
I
Yeah.
observed the cheerleading practice. It
Yeah.
was tough.
Yeah. Tough girl, tough to be a girl dad. I don't know. Who's listening to this? Are there parents? Do you know who's listening yet?
No, it
Is
is.
it still just like my mom and your mom and dad, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's only 4 listeners. Hey,
I love
mom.
you, Dad.
Um, but yeah, no, seriously, like who listens? What's going to be valuable here? Like last time I was on was like a year ago,
A year ago,
a little over
the end of that
year and a half.
chapter with the old Kid Strong crew
Mhm.
and highlighted importance of words. It was the emphasis. So we're going to build off that. And what I want to get into is reflecting on coach's responsibility and now building environment.
Mhm.
But
So
words are one thing, but now think about ultimately the environment you are trying to build as now leader of your own business,
mhm.
leader of the little one, but you need to provide them with the tools to then step into the cheerleading practices, the soccers, and face competition, face coaching, face opponent, face all of the inevitable challenges that will, once they're 18, they got to have to face that.
Yeah, you would hope, right? I think even before we jump in there, what could be valuable is, maybe there's first time listener. And like you said, there's a lot of a lot of new blood in here. And does everyone know your story? Like, that's the thing about running a podcast is everyone's coming on for the guest, but maybe they don't know about you. And I think why that's relevant, not necessarily like your coach's journey, but our journey together intersects way back in your early, what I would consider your early days of your hero's journey,
Oh yeah.
right? In the sense of like what you like, you still are righting the wrongs of bad coaches. I
Uh-huh.
think that you were subjected to in your youth journey, right? Like that's where you came in full of piss and vinegar into what was CrossFit football.
Hmm.
And then, and during that season where you were like all in CrossFit football practitioner in the general population space is when I joined that team
Hmm.
and ran like the CrossFit football HQ gym, CrossFit Balboa. I quit my corporate job, to do that. Then cross paths with you when we dreamed up this Occupy Strength weightlifting competition in
2012.
DC, Best Dressed or something, Sexy Friday. I forget what your, spirit award you gave the team was because you didn't win according to the score sheets. And then that was a whole debacle because the scoring system.
Demand a recount.
I don't know if you like there's any OGs listening to this.
Callie.
We did our best. Listen, we're just men. Like we were just men, a young man trying to put on a weightlifting competition built off Google Sheets. Like it was wild. So there may be some slippage in that scoring. So then after that, made impression. We were looking for help. And then Callie ended up moving out to Southern California where I was headquartered. Got to know her. You relentlessly kept pushing to get involved, got involved. CrossFit football grew, scaled, and then became persona non grata to CrossFit HQ.
2017.
Yeah. And all the meanwhile, like my mission with CrossFit football and John was to like try to build an empire with him, you know? And we needed people. And then that's when you came in when we were relocated from Southern California to Austin. That's where like you were able to call it home base and get in more full time. And then that's really, I think, when we started to ride in the saddle together. Even though we were still homies in Newport, you came out to Newport all the time,
Uh-huh.
right? But I think that's when like things started to get real from a business standpoint, and it became a little more than coaching. It became a product, you know. And that's when it's like, okay, now we need two different brains because you are the pinnacle coach, righting the wrongs of all the bad coaches out there, and then I was the guy who tried to turn it into a product, a system, repeatable, scalable, sustainable for and then like with John's expertise, right? So then we did that for what? 10 years?
But feels
Like
like more.
not like Austin was a 6-year chapter,
Yeah.
but like between Newport and Austin it was like 10 years, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Time out. Let's take a second to talk about training and introducing you to the Old Bull Training Program. This is the program that I'm following and writing for myself because I was bored and beat up with other training programs out there. Now I focus in on fun and a very time effective and efficient training program that also targets different joint issues that I'm having: shoulders, hips, back, knees, ankles, everything from my athletic playing career and then career as a strength and conditioning coach, lifting every single day. My body's beat up as I approach 40. This program is focused on building it back up in a very time effective and efficient manner. I encourage you, check out the program. Most fun you'll have throughout the week, and how I'm structuring the program and giving you the opportunity to choose your own adventure each day. For a 7-day free trial, click the link in the show notes, check out the program, and join me on Old Bull. And now, back to the show. Ready, and break.
Yeah. And it is like the really cool thing getting exposure to John Wellborn's network. I mean, you get to see the best of the best, right? And then we got to distill it and shape it, and again, turn it into what I would call like a product. Um, but then that saga ended, right? For me, it was had a kid, need to do something different. I just burned out on fitness. No offense, fitness or uh,
They don't get
no,
offended.
not like influencers. What am I saying? Enthusiasts,
Oh.
fitness enthusiasts, coaching enthusiasts, like athletics and fitness. Just I burnt out. And like my life's mission became that little girl, my first daughter.
Mhm.
And then that was just a beautiful intersection of everything we did at Power Athlete, then marrying that into Kid Strong, which eventually we crossed paths again.
Mhm.
As your time ended at Power Athlete, you were looking for something new. And it just so happened like we needed a beautiful mind who wanted to create a training system that we could, like, we needed to build a repeatable training system for all the franchisees to train their coaches. And like I knew I couldn't do it myself, and I've done it before with you with the methodology. I'm like, this is the guy. And it was just perfect timing. You're like, yeah, I think I'm done with the Power Athlete. Well, I'm like, I gotta find a home for you at Kid Strong. Then we spent a year there.
Uh-huh.
I think did stuff that I know for a fact they're still using, because then you moved on. This has kind of been your long con, I imagine, for several years, captains and coaches. And then I wrote out Kid Strong another couple years. And then I ultimately had to just get back to family out here in Indiana,
Mhm.
my folks. And for anyone who's listening, thank you, who may have been Power Athlete radio listeners, the Naperville crew and the Lantern, those stories, I feel like they popped up, right?
I feel we let loose a little bit and went from our social stories and experiences.
Yeah. Like I feel like if there's any diehard Power Athlete radio fans that listen to this, well, that crew is what I moved back to. Cause like they're all in the same season of life as me as well. And I just couldn't
Mhm.
really set down roots like I did in Newport. Like there's some good roots in Newport, okay roots in Austin, but it was just like, dude, it was all work. It was all work. So like there was really no social life other than work. And like we were all homies. And then in Dallas, couldn't make any friends. I don't know. Just and then my folks make a move. And then now, yeah, I think what's interesting, long, all that to say, all that meandering scenic route to say that along the way, this is where I feel like relationships, friendships through work or otherwise, like certainly can drift. But you
Mhm.
and I have been in like contact at least once a month, I feel like, if I
Or
were to
more.
average it out
Yeah.
once a month, because there's some stretches. Life's just kind of crazy. Holidays, I don't know. But like, yeah, we've been pals for a long time and helping sharpen each other's swords.
Yeah.
That didn't sound right. But like,
I
yeah,
would
like
say holding the mirror up for
it,
one another.
yeah, even today in the car as I was driving you around in my new endeavor, which is like kind of like renovating homes, kind of, but like helping people in like one of the most stressful windows of life, which is the life transition out of a home.
Mhm.
Like you lived in a home for a long time, you got to sell it. You got to make a ton of money. It's setting you up for the next season of life. It could be one of the 3 Ds we call death, divorce, downsizing. Like downsizing a lot of times isn't voluntary. It's like you lose a job. Like things are hectic. And I wanted to create like a little SWAT team because this is like what we would do at Power Athlete. And then even at Kid Strong, we'd stand up like these tiger teams. I don't know if you remember the tiger teams, or were you on board with that?
I mean, I was on a few. I never understood the reference, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just like a corporate mumbo jumbo, but it's like a group of people who have one like of mixed skill sets that have one focus, which is to solve a problem quickly and like eradicate it. And that's what's kind of cool about this new gig is like every house is different, but you're bringing it to the same system, which is like presentable to sell. And then the people get to put the money in their pocket because they can sell it for more because it's in good condition. And you like help people who are really stressed out and really need help. And like they invite you into their lives and they trust you with their most valuable asset. And that's what I loved about Kid Strong, because like realistically, a parent's most valuable asset, and it's not an asset though, their most valuable belonging is their kid. And they would entrust us and our coaches and our teams with like improving their kids' social emotional capacity, their fitness, their confidence. Like they trusted Kid Strong
Mhm.
and the coaches at Kid Strong. And like my job was to create the experience, your job was to create the coaching. Like that's the coolest, like uh Luke and Bo Dukes of Hazard mission there is.
I was thinking Ricky Bobby and
Sure, Talladega
John
Night.
C. Riley, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
Cal.
But like yeah, but so here we are. Now my wingman is my wife. Don't be careful if you start a business with your wife. Don't do
Well, we're,
it.
I was going to try to jump in here and say we're talking about
About what?
environments,
Yeah. Yeah.
and protecting relationships. Yeah, you are able to make a connection quick with people. And from my experience, from sport coach to strength coach, this is what we needed to do in seminars. But
Mhm.
majority of the people, they are very lacking in that skill. They may understand the X's and O's
Mm.
of sport. They may understand the X's and O's of percentages and strength programs, but are very challenged. And this is rule number one in the course I just put out is relate.
Mhm.
Relate. That will set you up for success for the rest of the stuff. But if we're unable to relate, then we're just leaning in with rules and you get a different kind of compliance.
Mhm.
They're going to yes sir you until they don't.
Mhm.
And if they're a paying customer, different than a kid who's on your sports team,
Oh, yeah.
bye.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I mean, I always said no, like, and trust. Like, you gotta you have to be vulnerable enough to let somebody get to know you immediately, and it's gotta be authentic because, like, I think they'll sniff it out, and, like, it's so funny because I feel as if when we were doing our best to to let to build our army of coaches at Power Athlete and activate those guys, like, all the work we did to try to activate the 10 to 15 to 20, you know, people that who really were like our evangelists. I mean, that whole man, that was like those years were hard. Like we could not get anything going. Anyways, but it was just always like earn their like when you come to a seminar, you're interning, you have to be authentic, you have to be likable, and you have to earn their trust. And
Mm-hmm.
then in the CrossFit football side, there was this element of entertainment because it was like a voluntary thing. It wasn't a mandatory thing. So then they had to be entertaining. So then you had to be like a bit of a performer and showman, and it's a really hard amalgamation or gumbo of skills to like weave in and out of.
Mm-hmm.
But all that to say is that thing went into Kid Strong too in like the themes of our corporate training. Day one was what was our big two on day one? It was like we I wanna say that for them, it was trust the TV and have fun,
For the
but
coaches.
for the coaches. But for the trainers who were there for the coaches, it was like, earn their trust, be likable. Like, earn their trust, be likable. That's it. That's all you gotta do, because we had a very short window to, like, encourage seasoned professionals to unlearn and relearn and
Mm-hmm.
trust you, because this industry, like I've in my experience, and I feel like I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of coaches, there's like this really guarded ego sometimes.
It's different. So this is connected to what I wanted to talk about. So if we're going into the professional coach realm, so I wouldn't. Our aim was to get the Kid Strong coaches to believe that they were professional
Hmm.
coaches. So I'll start with them, and I'll get to the other side of things. So they, for the most part, were more reserved, and they had less confidence, lower self-esteem to believe in themselves to lead the 14-year-old, 14 4-year-olds, and then go break the glass to make a connection to the parent, because majority were not parents themselves.
Hmm.
So there was a lot of self-limiting beliefs in place for them that the seminar was breaking down. Like,
Hmm.
we wanted you to be overly enthusiastic and use your body to help you speak, because kids are going to watch your body more than they're going to listen to your words. So we had to get over a lot of self-limiting beliefs. Now, for the professional coaches in the fitness space, that's where the ego came in. And there's a lot of people that were either looking for affirmation. Hey, can you read my program? Or check out my warm-ups. What do you think of this? So they were looking for approval there, or they would listen to our systems and approaches and how we had certain stances on things, and then it didn't jive with them. So immediately they're going to be combative, or just shut off.
Hmm.
Um, but then the people that were there to, I guess, feel, experience, and really learn, those who they became the evangelists.
Hmm.
They applied,
and then continue to learn themselves through application. So two different things. I think the ego, just through the challenge with Kid Strong, because I mean, you got to let loose. You got to be be cool in a sense, and a lot of people are too cool for school, so they self-selected out. In my opinion, it's more difficult to coach kids.
Yeah. Both populations, though, even though, like, let's say different barriers, but still barriers, and barriers you got to break down.
Right.
And in order for, because it's like a defensive
It is.
stance, it's like a compensation pattern,
Yeah.
a behavioral compensation pattern.
Which
And
yeah.
so to recognize it as just like it would be a compensation pattern, I guess watching a movement pattern that you're trying to change, it's behavioral pattern. Now
Uh-huh.
y- you got to shape and redirect into a different belief set so that you can influence that way of thinking
Mhm.
or way of moving. It's all the same thing,
Yeah.
right? Bring it to center line. Whatever your coach's eye or coach's ear or coach's instincts are seeing, if they're off center line, you want to pull them in. But before you do that, you got to break down the barrier.
Uh-huh. And help them become self-aware.
Mhm.
Terminator 2.
But not too self-aware, because then you're out of work. I'm just kidding.
Depends.
I'm kidding.
Well, they hired you to do one thing to help them and set them free.
Mhm.
Yeah, just depends on the scenario.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Well, I mean, what other lessons did you learn then taking on the seminars that you still hold on to, I mean, through and through to now building a team? Because you were building teams way back when
Mhm.
and in every place, I guess.
Right. Yeah. I think, and I've been on mostly the product side, I guess, in reflection. I didn't know what I was doing back then. Like, but in reflecting back,
They don't know that.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, there was certainly direction, passion, and desired outcomes. And at the end of the day, it go like it was all this taxi Terry thing. Remember I told you that?
Uh-huh.
I've talked about taxi Terry since like day one of CrossFit football. Is like managing the experience. You want like there's a brand, like I want people to feel a certain way when I'm serving them with the thing I do for work.
Uh-huh.
And it's a sense of like a good fit, like there's a fit, there's a need, there's value, and there's no stake oil, and it's authentic. And I think the biggest thing I've learned along the way in terms of growing a team is you got to find people who believe that too, who think that's the important thing, to do the right thing, to help, to support everything you can into whatever the mission is for what you're trying to do at that time. And like those people will help carry your mission ahead, whether it
Mm-hmm.
was the programming side. Like I think of the dudes on the programming team at Kidstrong when I was running that, like those guys would chew on nails to get good programming out. And it's just, I don't know if I got lucky or if it was just like A's want to work with A's, like Sharp would always say. Like you got to find someone who you're happy to be better than you and like commit to developing and listening and believing it and advocating for. And I guess it's a little different in like the Kid Strong side, because that was like a larger company, 100 employees, 70 to 100, depending on where we're at. But like here we are now, where it's just me and Ash, my wife, that we started a business with, which is like, I love my wife. But it's hard. Like that part's hard, and let me tell you why it's hard. And I don't know, stop me if I've told you this or you don't think it's valuable, but we have a great relationship, great marriage. I consider ourselves really like amazing parents. Like she's a darn bulldog. Like you saw her push those kids out to cheer tonight.
Uh-huh.
Like my girls said cheer. We got the time wrong on the calendar. There's a million things going on in our life right now. We want our girls to know when you make a commitment, you go. And she told me I'm cheer started 30 minutes ago. I said, it's a blessing. We have a ton going on. We've literally hit every practice. this is the craziest week of our lives in recent memory. Relax. And she didn't. She just went because we made a commitment. It's time to go. And like we're just aligned on parenting philosophy where like there's so much nonverbal communication in managing our lives and the kids' lives. And like we are like a symbiotic team of parents where if somebody drops something, someone picks it up before it hits the ground. And there's no like it's just automatic. And then you start a business together where like you have to start over. Like we didn't
Hmm.
start that way as a couple. We've been together for like 20 years. But now we're in this new dynamic where like other people's capital, there people are investing in us. And there's consequences. And those consequences have a cost. And it costs reputation, it costs money.
Hmm.
And the whole point is to like grow something that's ours. I've helped in the power athlete CrossFit football side, I help grow somebody else's thing, which is fine. On the Kid Strong thing, help grow somebody else's thing, which again was fine. Like those were two good reps, but now it's time up for us to do our own thing. And it's like we're coexisting at any moment in this environment where there's this like automatic, like cerebral communication where we don't even have to talk to each other. We already know everybody, like our next five moves for each other. And then there's the new thing where like it needs to be constant communication
Hmm.
and just on the foundational communication because we don't really know what we're doing yet. Like we're just getting started in this new product and service industry that like we have no experience in. So like to have those going on at the same time and like constantly we're talking family, then it's work, then family, then work. And it's just two different communication styles and like responsibility sets is like bonkers. It's the hardest thing I've done. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. Um, so now pull a teammate into that. So we have our first hire, right?
Yeah, I got a parallel, but go on.
And it's just like we had to have like a sit down and like, hey, we got to button it up and we got to formalize because like we can't bring like uh, our employee into this hectic, like I don't even want to call it a channel of community. It's like a torrential tornado F5 of communication, you know. Um, But we had to find someone who's okay with that. So it's like understand where you're at, understand who's going to drive value, and then invest in them more than you'd invest in yourself. That's kind of like my philosophy there.
Hmm.
In the early stage, kind of like plank holding higher. Like the person we hire 2 years from now, it's gonna be a very different person,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, two things on that. One, uh, and I told you this quote in the car today or yesterday, feels like a lifetime. Uh, yeah, assumptions are where the value is. So you assume a lot, and then you're able to have that nonverbal communication with Ashley. And now someone coming in here, you guys are talking fast, and maybe they're picking up on it, most likely not.
Mhm.
But you and I had this running seminars, it'd just be like click. And if we had an intern or an assistant coach come in to help us out, like they expressed like I'm lost, I don't know what to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
because we were running and gunning
Mhm.
16 hours, um, just the two of us. So you have been in this position. Let's just remember what you learned, the lessons you learned from the previous experience
Mhm.
to apply it. And then where you established uh, expectations, so managing the experience, that's your expectation with your clientele. Can you apply that to now the team?
Mhm. I think you can. Yeah. But like in my opinion, I guess you would call that culture or no? I mean, it,
I'm leaning towards environment because
mhm.
culture just I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I've had negative experiences with that word.
Yeah. And
So
it's like, yeah, it's one of those words.
so
And
I'm leaning into establishing environment, and so what I have here is calling upon coaches' responsibility from the past, and where we taught it as an internal compass.
Now, does
So
everybody know what a coach's responsibility is?
it's a, I want, what did you refer to it as?
I would consider it the origin of it
Mm-hmm.
as a, I mean, what would you call it? A lesson or segment of the seminar series that we used to run.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Crescendo, a cap, a
mhm,
high note to end on,
yeah. Yeah,
in
but
my
it was
opinion.
like a module. So like it was a lecture. I guess the simplest thing is like in our seminar that was a 2-day seminar, mixture of practical and lecture. It was like the lecture to tie it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do they know that?
No,
Okay. That's what it
unless
is.
you attended a seminar with us from 2012 to 2017.
Yeah. So sorry to cut you off. So yeah, the coach's responsibility, but like which has like is one of those slow cooker, seedlings that I would imagine for you and maybe for me, I just don't like label it like that anymore. I'm out of like what I would consider like I'm not naive enough to say I'm not a coach because I am like a coach. On I coach my poor wife, I coach my kids, like I coach our employees, I coach our clients, I coach our subcontract. Like I'm consistently coaching. I understand I'm a coach, but like not under the umbrella of the principles as they're directly laid out in that lecture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can absolutely make connections. Don't get me wrong. If I wanted to create a coach's responsibility lecture for running a team in the services industry, home service industry, like I could, and I would probably use that framework. But so with that said, are you going to dive into some of these?
Yeah, just
Okay.
throw 3 points at you.
Yeah.
So previous lecture, it was essentially built around a coach's moral compass where you are not worried about your own needs and interests and enthusiasms. Like if you're an Olympic weightlifting guy, not forcing Olympic weightlifting down your athlete's throat
Right.
because you like it.
Right.
What do they need?
Yeah.
So you reverse engineer a program based off of the demands of the sport, your assessment of the athletes, where they are, and you build your program to get them there. So you're effectively it's your moral compass to take yourself out of it and then guide the athlete from where they are to where they want to go
Hmm.
based off limiting factors and uh, assessments and progression.
Hmm.
And so leaning into environment, that was taught as a one-on-one lecture, like me coaching that athlete. But now with the environment, we bring into a team, and
Hmm.
this is where I've always I feel I've thrived is in sport team environments and cultures versus like a one-on-one personal training or like combine prep style coach. Um, so within combining responsibility and environment, one, managing expectations. So being very clear on your instructions, and I run into this a lot with sport coaches. They have a vision of what they want done in their head,
Hmm.
and they say something and then get mad at kids for not doing
The thing.
the thing. And if I'm confused as a player of 20 plus years and pro coach, then these fourth graders are confused. So, like
Mhm.
creating and managing the expectations and being clear is is being nice. So that's established there, and then creating a mastery environment. So helping the kids understand goals that are away from winning. Goals are away from like getting a specific number of goals. So getting away from metric and more in process. So you reinforce any behavior that was good. If we're closer to the target, we improved. So you just need more reps. So instead of saying you missed, hit or miss, you got closer. Let's go.
Mhm.
Or if you were off, well, here's an instruction on how to improve versus a criticism. So getting into building a mastery environment, I want to call it a la Robert Greene, author I like. And then the support core needs. So needs is something we were discussing in the car today, and where these are based off of this is called self-determination theory. And I shared a lot of books with you. Um, in our time.
They're all over there, I think.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, the self-determination theory and three big needs for an athlete: autonomy, so they get choice in this instead of just always being told what to do. So how I work that into practices or training sessions, it's like, we're going to squat today. You get a choice of a single leg squat or a front squat. Still squatting. They get to pick that. Or we're going to do this drill or footwork drill. We can do this or that. Then they pick and they feel empowered and they're still accomplishing what I want them to. And then competence, that's connected to mastery, so they can see that they're getting better. Weightlifting is easy because it's numbers, but now how do you do that with skill? Coaches, you have to be proactive. So their technique may improve, but if the ball doesn't go in the hoop, but you saw that it was better, you have to like reinforce it because they only see ball goes in basket. Trouble. Um, and then relatedness, so connection and trust. Like, what my words matter, and we covered this on our last podcast. But I always have to be on point, so that way we start to build the trust. And like, I can joke and have fun with them, but that it needs to be clear that I'm joking and having fun, so that way when we are serious, they know like, oh, coach is for real right now. So like establishing, especially with like the high school dudes, like, I'm not your friend. Like, we can have fun and kick it, but like, I am your coach. And even Kid Strong is very well like establishing where you introduce yourself as, I'm Coach Chris, I'm Coach Luke, and then creating a authority respect relationship. What I really liked was, now this is my bias, but creating a good connection between parent and coach. So now parents have a great association with coach because Coach Luke was so nice to him. Coach Pat was loving all over them and was very respectful. So future coaches that they meet, they're going to go up and have a great expectation of what a great coach is and know what bad is. So, yeah, those self-determination theory is where those are based, but autonomy, competence, and relatedness. To Daniel Pink, was the author of that Drive book. I may have just told you about it versus like giving it to you. But yeah, so seeing how those can build the responsibility, the environment, but still connected to the responsibility that we previously taught, where it's like a one-to-one relationship. Yeah. But
Yeah,
those can translate to business as well.
100%. And that's what I was thinking through now, just in like the glide path put together for our first, our first hire. It's all
Glide path. Is that
like on ramp.
okay?
Yeah, like what? Because it's steeped in data. Because like the
Data.
cycle, data, whatever. Data is character on Star Trek, or data was. I forget what.
I think I won. I think that was me just winning that.
Also, for those who are listening and don't know our background, there's several multi-year arguments that are going on. One is it data or data? And well, you choose.
I'm
The
team data, for the record, so I think I
yeah,
got you.
I can't remember and I will go back to my notes, which is basically whatever on the opposite, whatever you think.
I do have a gift for you.
Huh?
That I want to capture your um,
Data.
data expression on camera. I just forgot to get it before the show because I was cooking dinner.
Oh yeah, enchiladas. In case you're wondering, very nice, very sloppy, which is a good touch. I
I digress. We were
yeah.
talking
Um,
glide
it's
deck.
interesting because what we're in as well is a franchise. So there's, franchise playbooks and ops manuals that we get from our corporate team. And, one of the questions that, or like one of the things that come in the push pack is ultimately like, what are the KPIs by week for the first 90 days? I was just like, okay, that's cool. But this is like, someone made this up, like, what does this make?
You've been in that place before where you just make stuff up.
Oh yeah. I've made things up. like this looks made up. I know what this is. But you in their defense too, like it's a relatively new concept, you know. So like that is not a critique, by the way. It's so it was valuable, and then I covered it with our teammate, and I just said, the wrap your head around these and go for it. I will be. I am looking for progress. I'll be like, we're going to be charting trend lines now, and it's interesting because like there's all these like leading indicators. Leading indicators are like the things you should be doing to get your outcome, but at the end of the day, like our goal is to get jobs, deals,
Mm-hmm.
which they're training in strength and conditioning would be like a leading, like the statistics you have in your training plan. Like if you're on Train Heroic, all those stats that you can like look up, those are all your leading indicators. And what you're looking for is correlation between things going up in your training and then things going up in your competition. If you're training for competition, right? Or if you're training for training, you want things to go up, like sure. And then you would break that out into like, well, you want your body weight bench press reps to go up. I don't know, making that up. Well, you're gonna do all sorts of accessory work. Well, if your accessory work's improving, but your bench isn't, then we're measuring the wrong things, or we're getting after the wrong things. But the same thing here in this particular employee is their first like grown up job.
Mm-hmm.
So even just understanding the importance of a KPI and these leading indicators, you know, what's funny is like we had a lot of like really early on high performance, and then like if you watch the trend lines on all of them, they go down, and then revenue goes up as they're going down. So it's like there's this big push in the beginning that has kind of like hit us into a steady state where like the things that she needs to be doing on a daily, weekly, monthly probably don't have to get done at the volume that we thought, so now we got to recalibrate,
Mm-hmm.
you know and a lot of that too for her, like uh we're introducing new stuff to do that, like I don't know, it's my crazy ideas and it's going to take time away from the things you're doing, but I'm also explicit in saying I understand this is taking it away from your core dailies. Just keep pushing, push harder. You feel good? Good, go. You know. But and then autonomy was the other one. Is like I just straight up asked, "Do you want me to? I will do this for you. That's an appropriate ask because you've never done it, or do you want the freedom to do it? And then I help you fix it. If you don't stick the landing, guess what they chose? Like the freedom to do it. Help me if I don't stick the landing.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like that's all we. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's parenting too. It's give freedom, like slack, pull them in, slack, reel them in, slack, reel them in, slack, reel them in, and then support through the whole thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it reminds me of freaking running the CrossFit gyms, the seminars. It's all the same thing. It's all the same principles.
Well, creativity is in the connections. Now we're
Now,
talking.
you have all the research and names for this stuff, which I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I do that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But this is creativity, and that's psycho-cybernetics,
This again.
which I've revisited.
Oh, is it what you originally thought it was, or is there a new, like, do you have a new lens?
I have new layers.
Layers. Okay.
So within before environment. So here's where my brain is, and these are incomplete.
Mhm.
So it starts with self-awareness. So then there's layers to what I'm thinking here. So self-awareness, and you're creating awareness for the athlete. If they're aware that there's a deficit, they are coachable. If there's a perceived coach as a threat, they're they're really talented, they're really good. Coach is telling me I'm not. He doesn't know what I'm talking about. He's not going to listen.
So coach is the threat
And well,
in
in
what you were
this
just saying. I'm just making sure I'm
athlete
tracking.
example,
Yeah.
and so that they're not self-aware. So then it's trying to understand self-awareness. So then there another. This is self-discrepancy theory. It's where you have your actual self. This is like your level set. And I was speaking about mirrors in the car earlier. So our actual self is
not necessarily what we perceive, but it's like our height, our weight, our bench press, our stats, our physical, uh, social, emotional capabilities, just as real as we can get. And then above that, there's your ideal self. And this is picture perfect. It's often what we are putting out there on social media. Like it's Jesus Christ. It is perfect. And then there's the ought self. So this is what external environments start to put pressure on, and like you ought to do this. You say that. Our parent says like you're going to be a doctor when you grow up, and then you start to internalize that, and you're not even close to that, or they don't have a relationship with you. They're not connected. So it just starts to
Time out. Text here at Train Heroic headquarters, meeting with the team to talk about the coaching experience that I'm able to provide for my athletes. So if you're a coach and want to put your program out there on an app that athletes actually enjoy using, Train Heroic's for you. I've been using it since 2014, delivering literally over tens of thousands of workouts to athletes, and the Train Heroic allows me to provide the unique coaching experience that I want to. Uploading video, providing coaching feedback, directions, and building a community. That's why I love Train Heroic. And if you want to take your athletes where they can't take themselves, that they want to go, head to trainheroic.com/captains and check out how you can deliver programming to them. And now back to the show. Ready, and rip.
become this, I should do that. I should do that. And you start to spiral downward. Um, so with the ideal self from actual, you're looking up and you start to become a perfectionist because you're not reaching the ideal. It's impossible. So you start these negative thought patterns trying to reach that, and then it, like shame induces because you're not the perfect model, or um, in the sense where it's the ought self, where it's the should. This is also shame induced, but now it's coming from an external thing. So it's how do you have an accurate portrayal of yourself? But that comes from good mirrors. So if a coach is giving you good feedback and saying like, well, that was a good effort, it reinforces good things, and then I want you to work on this. So they're acknowledging you and giving you tools to work on. Okay, we can aim towards an ideal, and then it's healthy because we are not getting mad at ourselves if we miss our target. And the ought is understanding who we actually are. So if somebody's telling you to go do a job or do something you don't like or you don't believe or doesn't feel good, then you stop listening to that versus allowing it to drag you down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gaining confidence in what your enthusiasm, passion, true ability is, and then start to listen to the good feedback loops versus creating your own uh, feedback loops that are negative inside your head. If you're missing your mark on your ideal self, or if you're acting out, not doing good, or you're going to medical school because you were told to and you're failing out and you hate it, then you start to spiral out because you're listening to external stuff. It's starting to, spin out there. So,
Mm-hmm.
can you create boundaries and just healthy communication with authority figures to help them realize, like, stop telling me to do that and stop shaming me, stop doing this, so you can actually pursue what you feel is meant to be. So, coaches, authority figures, they can help like lead towards the ideal, shape up your actions, your behaviors, your skills, your abilities, and then help you understand who you are to protect you from the external and negative forces
Mm-hmm.
that are chirping at you for the ought self.
But if you don't have like a mentor or coach, how do you do it yourself?
That is self-awareness and reflection to where what do you enjoy?
Mm-hmm.
What does bring you joy? What brings you that spark, that enthusiasm, which it can be fitness and training for a lot of people. Like, and I'm guilty of shitting on people that are obsessed with the sport of fitness.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like, who's bringing them joy? They got to escape from their work, go to the gym, show up, and fall in love with a community that was happy to see them every day. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. And they were reinforcing confidence and then stepping into like their actual self and finding a community and environment that supported them on like a open stat sheet. Nobody knew who they were, where they were, but they mattered where they were. So that's important. And this is, I mean, the ultimate example. If I'm talking about high school sports, nobody knows hundreds of thousands of kids' names, but there's people that do.
Mhm.
And that is what matters. So it's not, oh, what athletes have you worked with? It's like, do you matter with the athletes that you do work with? That's what's important. And can you take them where they can't take themselves that they want to go? So I don't know. That's that base layer, but it takes a lot of wrestling to get the kid to trust you because they have maybe other authority figures or other coaches that are telling them otherwise that they didn't trust. And so they're protecting their ideal or protecting their actual self from you that's giving them 1, 2 things to fix.
Mhm.
So it's, yeah, it's the bottom layer, but it's the most important. It just goes to relate. Can I talk about movies, music, books, whatever this kid's into to make a connection and then, hey, try this. And then it worked, right? Competence. Oh, what coach told me worked. Oh, and then continue to just pull on that thread.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's bottom layer is that self-awareness and self-discrepancy theory. But coaches, you got to look at that in yourself too.
Yeah, but coaches don't have coaches always.
So this is where it helps because they're looking at it and they're going to discover the tools that work for them. And guess what they do? They hand off those tools to the kid to then protect them from the internet haters, to help them improve each day, aiming towards who they want to be, and but acknowledging and being cool with who you are. So it's, yeah, if a coach starts to look internally, it's going to help their athletes because they're going to learn the self tools, hopefully sooner rather than later, to then help the people they're working with.
Is that what coaches are doing now, though?
No,
Okay.
for the most part.
And that's just
There's
such
good
a
ones.
broad, like all coaches, right?
Yeah.
But
And
like,
they could be doing it instinctually
yeah,
because they're just good dudes
yeah.
and ladies.
Hmm.
So, and then, I mean, think about the expectation of parents. You want your kid, you're going to meet your kid's needs because they can't, or they don't know how to, or they're too small. And eventually you're going to teach them how to uh, do it themselves, fulfill their own needs, and eventually they're going off to school or next career. They're out of the nest and they're going to find out what the tools they have in place are working or not. But you're still hopefully there to guide them. I know you will be, but a lot of
Hmm.
parents are not.
Yeah,
That's where a coach can also step in.
yeah, and probably be more effective at that age because that's the just leave me alone, mom. Leave me alone, dad.
Yeah. And just, yeah, speaking with a lot of people is that age, especially speaking with female athletes, where their coach was not fun. So they were in their natural stage of life when you got to rebel against home. And then coach was treating them like garbage,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But they succeeded or they went Division 1. So then that is praised by a lot of people. So then the behaviors that got you there are praised, it reinforces them. And guess what? Those tools may or may not work at the next level.
Yeah.
And in
Next
this,
season.
the next season is probably a better way to put it than level. Or I was going to say is level is probably not professional, level of life,
Yeah.
season of life. Um, and then what do? You start to question your identity and everything because it worked before. Now it's not working.
Hmm. Maybe.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Like, is that the core of imposter syndrome?
That gap
Yeah.
between one of those
Or a
gaps,
contributing factor?
potentially.
Mhm.
I've heard people that say imposter syndrome doesn't exist. It's just self-limiting beliefs that you have. I
Mhm.
mean, talk about public speaking. Were you a public speaker when you started?
No.
But now people will tell you how amazing you are.
Of course, they'd tell try it. Just try telling me. Try it.
You're a great public speaker.
Oh, thanks, Tex. Man, how kind. How kind of you. You too? No.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
And scene. That is a wrap on part 1 with my good pal Luke Summers. If you like what you heard here today, be sure to like, subscribe, rate, and review. Be notified when round 2 with Luke comes out next week. That does it for the show. Be sure to head to captainsandcoaches.com to sign up for our newsletter for latest articles, connections, leadership insights, movement, all the fun stuff. And if you're looking for a training program, join Luke and I on Old Bull at captainsandcoaches.com for it all. Until next time, bye.
Do you have dog house?